All right. What is up, everybody? What is up? What is up? Welcome. We did it. We made it to the 2022 edition of Too Tall Toby's 3D CAD Speed Modeling Tournament. What's up? What's up? What's up? I am super excited to be here today. I am super excited about our competitors. Today is Saturday, August 13th, the first of many matchups that we're going to be having. So what's up to everybody in the chat? What's up, Francisc Martin? What's up? What's up, IX Striker XL? Love it. What's up? Welcome. What's up, Anti-Venom? Great to see you in here. Ed, what's up? What's up? Great to see you in here. And welcome. All right, guys, we don't have to belabor this too much. This is the first of many tournaments, and I want these to go pretty quickly when we're live streaming here on our Saturdays. So let's just get into it, right? Let's just see what we got cooking here. It's our 3D CAD speed modeling tournament. A little bit of stats here for this tournament. We had 32 runners and 10 are on the waiting list. So we completely filled the bracket of 32 people, and we managed to get 10 people on the waiting list as well. So that is awesome. Unfortunately, the registration is now officially closed. We can't take any more people because we don't even know if we're going to get to anybody on the waiting list. But, sometimes people don't show up for the tournament. And if they don't show up or if they can't make it, if something else comes up, who knows, maybe you'll end up getting into a slot if you're on that waiting list. So appreciate everybody signing up for this thing. I appreciate everybody tuning in to watch it. And this is 12 different countries that registered and 5 different CAD systems that are being represented. So this is truly a worldwide phenomenon, and it is all different CAD packages. We got SolidWorks, we got Inventor, Onshape, Fusion 360, and Key Creator. Those are the 5 different CAD systems that are in right now. Who knows? With the waiting list, we might end up having even more people join in. So I see CTSUG users group is here. What's up, Steve? Thanks for tuning in. Ricardo is here. Victor is here. What's up? And what's up, James? Oh, yeah. Nice. Glad you were able to make it here. Shout out to James, who's hosting the Altec Birmingham users group. I'm actually going to be presenting there virtually on Tuesday. So if you guys want to hang out on Tuesday night at a users group, that is going to be the place to be. I want to also remind you, next week, we got another one of these tournaments. Neil Custard from the United States is going against Rafi Rahman from Bangladesh. And KamSmiff from the United States is going against Rajiv from India. So again, the trend continues. This is truly a worldwide phenomenon. So cool that we got so many people representing so many different countries. Definitely an exciting time here in the world of Too Tall Toby's 3D CAD speed modeling tournament. And of course, on that note, if you like that idea of, having this worldwide community, be sure to like and subscribe, be sure to share and reshare, and maybe take a moment and go over to tootalltoby.com, and right on the main page, it's down towards the bottom of the main page, sign up for my mailing list. Most of my communication is centralized around YouTube. But if I ever decide to change to a different platform, it'll be good to, it'll be good for me to be able to get in touch with you and let you know, hey, maybe this platform makes a little more sense for what we're doing here on the channel. No plans to do that right now, but I am one of these guys who is very leery about centralizing information. I like decentralized systems. So, take that for what it's worth. And, of course, if you want to support the channel, if you enjoy this kind of content, super thanks and super chat are a way that you can send me some value back and make sure that these kinds of things are sustainable. We want to make sure we keep doing these, not just in 2022, but for many years to come. All right, let's go. Enough intro. That's 5 whole minutes of intro. Let's go. Let's get into the actual presentation here. So these speed modeling challenges are basically going to mean I'm going to show the runners a sample 2D print, and I'm going to have them turn that sample 2D print into a 3D model, and we're going to calculate the mass and enter that mass in the YouTube. Let's see here. Hold on one second. I'm going to change something in my overlay. I feel like we're not seeing enough of this chat. Victor, down at the bottom, I see threw in some very valuable chat. I want to make sure that we include that. Where is it? Why isn't it coming in? I'm not getting the bottom of this thing. It's cropping off for some reason. All right. Little chat technical issue here. For some reason, I'm not seeing the most recent chats. They're just not Not coming in. Doesn't want to come in. All right, we'll figure it out. Don't worry, guys. We'll get this all working proper here before the end of the tournament. Shout out to Victor, says LFG. One of my favorite sayings. LFG, let's go, let's go. All right, here we go. This is what our tournament bracket looks like. 32 runners. It's a lot of people. We got 32 people in this tournament, and they are broken up into these 4 different colored brackets. So a black bracket, blue, red, and mustard colored, kind of like individual brackets. And so we're going to start out today looking at the black bracket. And our first matchup here in the black bracket is drBeljan. I'm going to call him drBeljan just because it's a little bit easier for me to say. And Kong. So drBeljan is coming from Croatia, representing Croatia, and Kong is representing the United States here today. So here's how this is going to work. I am going to first of all introduce our runners. drBeljan is coming from Croatia. Started using SolidWorks way back in 2007. Now, if we look at Kong, you can see Kong only started learning SolidWorks in 2021, right? So we're gonna see how those kind of match up against each other. drBeljan uses decorated aluminum sheet design and works in aerospace with composite materials. That's going to be a pretty strong skill set that he's bringing. But you can see Kong here is outrageously overconfident in his SolidWorks skills. So, you know, I can see how those kind of balance up against one another, and I guess we're going to find out which one of those sets of skills is gonna seal the victory here in this competition. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, go, and I'm going to show the competitors, the runners, a 2D print here on the YouTube live stream. Here on the YouTube live stream, the competitors are going to be able to see this 2D print, and they're going to turn that 2D print into a 3D model. Now, this is the very first occurrence of this format, you know, in the tournament format that we're doing here in 2022. For a lot of these guys who are running this thing, it's their very first time. So I'm just going to do a practice model, practice drawing here for our competitors, just to kind of get things started and to make sure that all systems are in fact a go. So let's take a look here at our practice model. We're gonna see here what this thing looks like. And here we go. So what you guys are going to do, what the runners are going to do, drBeljan and Kong, what you're going to do is you're going to take this 2D print, you're going to turn it into a 3D model. And so you're going to start out by taking this 2D print and doing a screen capture. I haven't shown it yet. I'm about to show it. You're going to turn it into a screen capture, and then you're going to start modeling. And as soon as I see you modeling, I'm going to show everybody in the chat your screen. I'm going to push that into the YouTube live stream. So let's see if this works. This is just a practice. It's a practice for you. It's a practice for me. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. So there's your practice model. Take that, do a screen capture, put it on your second monitor, do whatever you got to do, start a new model, and begin modeling. So we're going to see here, okay, it looks like they're both ready. So let me flip over here. Here we go. We can see we've got, like I said, we're getting everything in line here. We got Kong on the right with that kind of red background going through, creating this model. We've got drBeljan on the left going through, creating this model. Looks like Kong is using that outrageous confidence that he has to get that answer into the chat. We're looking for the mass of this model. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get this answer into the chat. It's interesting that it looks like they're almost both coming up with a different mass here, and believe it or not, it's different from the mass that I came up with. So that's kind of interesting. It kind of breaks my confidence a little bit here. So it looks like, but Victor, you're helping me out here, bro. You're giving me the confidence that I need. So Victor did come in with the same mass that I came up with. So that's good to see. So that's basically how it's gonna go. Looks like I see that drBeljan revised his answer and got the correct answer there. The correct answer for this one is 189. 189 is the correct answer. So maybe double check your material there. Kong, you were super fast getting the model out there, but I think maybe your material is off. On my end, I'm going to just make sure I got the YouTube chat coming through again. I feel like I'm missing the whole bottom part of the YouTube chat. I really don't like that. I think I might abandon this chat window and replace it with something that's a little bit easier to see here. So just stand by for a minute, guys. I'm going to just do a quick adjustment here on the overlay. Let's see here. There we go. That's a little bit better, I think. That way we can get all the latest and greatest, and we can see this all in real time. This is important, you know. We gotta be able to see this, the answers as they come in. If the answers come in and we can't see them, then how are we gonna know who got it right? Let me make this a little smaller here. We can kind of make that a little bit bigger here. Ed's got a question. I'm a bit out of date. Are the competitors already defined? Can I still qualify for the tournament? Ed, I'm sorry. We did a submission form already. There was no real qualifier this time. It was a little bit different from past tournaments. It was just a matter of signing up on the form, and yes, that form has already been filled. I guess you could say the bracket has been filled. So I miss you, bro. I know you were here in one of the very first tournaments. I would love to have had you in this one too, but don't worry. I got a feeling we're going to do a lot more. So, okay. There we go. That's a little bit better, at least a little bit more real time for the chat. And guys, I think we're ready for the actual, ready to actually go. I think everybody understands how to do it. I just want to remind the competitors that you're going to start out with an empty screen. Don't start out with a new part, because we're all going to agree that we're going to click new and start a new part. So just a reminder there. I see drBeljan closed his. That's awesome. And Riley closed his screen as well. All right, cool. Awesome. All right. Well, that wasn't so bad. I think that was pretty, relatively smooth. I think we got through that relatively smooth. I guess let me just, for sake of consistency here, add the YouTube chat on this one too. It shouldn't take too long. There we go. And we will just make that look a little bit more pretty, because I like pretty stuff. Look at that. That looks beautiful. That wasn't too hard. Okay, and then we can get rid of that extra chat. We don't need that anymore. Okay, cool. Good luck for both competitors. Exactly, yes. All right, guys. That was the practice. Now we are going official. This is officially the first challenge. Let me get this first challenge ready to go here. You guys can just talk amongst yourselves for a moment. And don't worry, I'm sure in the future this is going to get a lot smoother. It's just, we're just having some fun here. Just doing some live 3D CAD competitions. Okay, and let me just make sure that this is the correct thing that we want to be looking at. There we go. All right, cool. All systems go. Get back to my PowerPoint here. And I think we're ready to go here. So let's, whoops, sorry, 1 second, one more second here. Turn this off. Okay. And let's get into our full screen here. And as soon as I show this 2D print, we are officially a go here. Let's, you know what? I'm going to change this song. I want something a little bit more intense. Here we go. A little more intense. Here we go. All right, guys. This is a better song for our first challenge. We need something that's like, it's going to get us hyped up for this thing. Edison, what's up? Welcome. Welcome to the chat. Table 36 is here. What's up? Everybody is wishing the competitors good luck. I love it. I love it. Okay. We're going to go live here in 3, 2, 1. Grab a screen capture and begin modeling. What is the mass of this part in grams? Looking for the mass in 4 places. What is the mass of this part in grams? MMGS 1060 aluminum alloy with 2,700 kilograms per cubic meter. Both competitors are going live. Let's switch over to their screens and see how they do with this thing. So this is the part that they're trying to make. We can see we got drBeljan on the left, drBeljan on the left. We got Kong on the right. Kong is an intern and a rock climber. drBeljan is a CSWP, a gamer, and a proud father. Those seem like the perfect combination of attributes to set him up for a win on this thing. But you never know. Kong has got overwhelming self-confidence in his SolidWorks skills. If we look at the left, we can see that drBeljan utilized the auto-centered rectangle as well as the auto-dimensioning, and started out by kind of creating what is ultimately the base kind of footprint for this design. I think that's always a good way to start. You know, you look at the footprint of the model, look at kind of what it would look like if it was resting on a table, and start by creating those dimensions. And we see that Kong on the right is taking a similar approach, but trying to figure out what to do to center that thing. Okay, I like it. I like it. Getting some of that additional downstream geometry in place right away. Interestingly, drBeljan has taken the same approach, getting some of that additional geometry in place right away. I like it. I think a big part of, creating these models, whether somebody's giving you a 2D print or whether somebody's giving you a napkin sketch, or even if you just kind of know what the physical part is supposed to look like, is just getting that foundational sketch in place so that you kind of have an anchor for everything else to work from. In the case of this model, the 2D print for this model showed that the model has symmetry in two directions. And so you can see that both of our competitors are working with the origin at the center. And we know that is usually a strong technique, having the origin at the center when you are working with a model that's symmetric in both directions. It just makes sense to have that anchored down at the center there. I know some of you may be watching this from home and thinking to yourself, man, these guys are misclicking a lot. Well, I'm sure that Cam could comment on that in the chat. When you are live in one of these tournaments, all of your emotions are kind of going everywhere. It's a lot a lot easier said than done to stay calm and to avoid misclicks. So I definitely feel for the competitors. I have been there. I have recorded myself doing these kinds of speed modeling challenges and then looked back and said, man, I was all over the place. Hands are so sweaty. Yep. And Cam is saying this in the chat, but he's coming up soon. Jeff S is watching this. What's up, Jeff S? Is that my roadie in the chat? I really hope that it is. It's got the same icon as my roadie in my contact list. So what's up, Jeff S? Welcome to the chat. Okay, and drBeljan on the left was trying to do some, trying to take a sketch that started out simple and was trying to make it complicated and ran into kind of a weird error. Oh boy, now he's running into some more fun with it. This is one of our lessons in Too Tall Toby's, live streams and tips and tricks, is to try to keep your models simple. Keep your sketches simple. KISS. Keep your sketches simple. KYSS. That's going to be my next band. It's going to be a Kiss cover band that does all songs about 3D modeling. Coolman6564 says, no pressure. No pressure. Yes, no pressure. Just keep it going. It's all good. A little bit of a tricky model here. You got the foundation, which you can see that Kong on the right did a great job of getting that foundation in place. But now things get a little bit weird. We got this taper kind of going up. This weird taper going up at an angle. Definitely something to try to figure out. How are we going to get that taper? How are we going to get up to that upper section of the design? You have those supports going up to that upper section for this model, this machined stand. But how are you going to get up there? I like the approach that Kong is taking for this. This is what you have to do. You have to kind of figure out, like, okay, maybe it's maybe it's better to do it this way. I like it. Debris Field in the chat cheering for Kong. Yeah, you guys in the chat, who do you think is going to win this thing? Who do you think is going to take this thing home, or who are you cheering for even? Let us know in the chat. Victor says, done. Not going to post mass until competitors get through it. Thank you, Victor. That is a classy move and I very much appreciate it. If anybody does post the mask, I'll just try to delete it as soon as I can. This is today the stars of the show are the competitors, not the people who are watching in the chat. And Victor is going to be on the tournament, is going to be in the tournament here in a couple of weeks. And so we're going to see if he's as composed when it's him who's projecting his screen out to millions and millions of fans. You know, it gets to be a little bit more nerve-wracking when you're the one who's sharing your screen with everybody. Yes, thank you, Victor. That's a great point. I'm going to add a note to myself. Victor says, don't forget to remind people. Don't post the mask. Yeah, that's a great point. I'm literally writing a note. I root for the engineering, says cool man 6564. Very nice. Excellent answer. Where are you guys from in the chat? Let us know where you're from. If you're watching from a different country, if you're watching from the United States, let us know where you're from. I am excited to know that this is truly a worldwide phenomenon, the wonderful world of 3D CAD, 3D modeling, heads-up competition. And I like the way this one is coming together. I like the way both of our competitors, I started out with a little bit of a tough one here. I wanted to set the expectation a little bit. They're not all going to be easy. It's not all just going to be cylinders. But I am very much enjoying the techniques these people are using. drBeljan on the left ended up doing a cut extrude there, and you saw that when you have multiple bodies and you do a cut extrude, you have to specify what geometry is going to be affected, which bodies are going to be affected by that cut extrude. And I think he did a great job of putting that together and doing that cut extrude and then using that. It's what's called a feature scope. And look at that sketch, fully defined. Oh, very nicely done. It feels so good when you're just sketching and just snap a line in place and then just boom, it just becomes fully defined. On the right, we can see Kong is trying to get those supports in place, those angled supports in place, but running into a couple of little issues with it, and that's sometimes what will happen too. If you have multiple bodies, you'll go to do a cut extrude and then you end up with that. It used to be called the body ambiguity dialog box, where you've got multiple bodies and it says which bodies do you want to keep. But it looks like he's taking a new approach here, and I think he's getting on the right track here. Okay, and we got Anti-Venom coming in from Pakistan. Nice. Table 3-6 from Chicagoland. Very nice. Debris Field on the West Coast. What's up? What's up? Victor coming in from, let's see here. I just want to make sure everybody can see what I'm looking at here. So, and Idris coming in from Nigeria. Awesome. Awesome. Welcome. Victor coming in from West Coast, and it is early morning. Good. Nice and bright and early. Debris Field also from the West Coast. Maybe you guys can have lunch together after the competition. We got Table 3-6 from Chicagoland. Anti-Venom from Pakistan. Welcome, welcome. And we got Ed here, former competitor. I know Ed's from Brazil. We got Coolman 6564 from Northern Virginia. We got Axel here from Germany. Awesome. And Striker coming in. I'm just going to call you Striker from now on, okay? So Striker coming in from Alabama. I know that's James. And a couple of other people saying that they were able to get through this. That's awesome. It is, I will tell you, it is much easier to do when you're not the one projecting. And we got Steve here from Hutto, Texas. Welcome, welcome. And Louise is here from Mexico. Nice. And we got somebody here from Tunisia, Mohammed from Tunisia. Yes, awesome, Mohammed. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the tournament later. Oh, Ed from Colombia. I'm so sorry. I know that you know that I get confused by that, so I'm sure you're going to give me a pass there. Okay, and let's see here. Anti-Venom rooting for drBeljan. Okay, and Paul Meyer here from St. Louis. Welcome, Paul. Thanks a lot for tuning in. And let's see here. It's gamer tag on PlayStation Network. Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, and we have an answer here from drBeljan, and he has come in with his answer was 4109 grams. drBeljan, that is incorrect. That is incorrect. So you're gonna need to take a look at your design and see if you can maybe double check it against the drawing. It definitely looks close. I see that everything looks close, but that is incorrect with regards to the number that I came up with and checked and double checked and even triple checked. And drBeljan revising here to 4716. And drBeljan, I'm sorry, but that is also incorrect. And I have to do an audible here. And this is I know that you did it. I saw that you did that, and you real quickly fired in your second answer. Let me just do a quick audible here, and Kong, I apologize for this. You're getting kind of shafted on this one a little bit, but drBeljan, you only get one incorrect answer in the tournament. Now I'm going to say that your second incorrect answer, I'm gonna void that. I'm gonna just say that is that was your first one essentially, but you only get one more chance, drBeljan, Dragon. You only get one more chance to guess your answer. If you guess again and you get it wrong, you will not be allowed to guess again. So I'm gonna let you guess one more time. You want to check and double check, make sure you have your info correct. You get one more chance to guess. And but the rule is going to be you only are allowed to get one incorrect guess. This time around, I'm going to let you do it one more time because I know that you had logged in late and you didn't hear that rule. But once you submit this last time, this will be your final chance to submit. And Dragon submits the answer of 4914, and that is the correct answer. 4914 grams is the correct answer. So Kong, you can stop modeling. And Dragon, drBeljan, congratulations. Well done. Everybody want to give Dragon a GG in the chat. I'm going to give him a win up here in the overlay. Give you a win here. And Victor, I'm going to make a note to remind people about the one wrong answer rule next time around. And GG. Oh, look at what a sport there. Kong comes in and says GG as well on his model. So you guys, at this point, you guys can close your models out, and I'm going to switch back to the PowerPoint here. Very nicely done. Everybody's going nuts in the chat. GG. That was awesome, and very, very nicely done. So congratulations to the winner, to drBeljan. Nicely done. And I hope that's clear now, just so everybody knows. If you do get the answer incorrect one time, I will tell you that it's incorrect. And if you get the answer incorrect a second time, I'm going to say that's it. Like you're not allowed to answer any further, and then it'll be up to the other person to get the answer correct. This is something that we talked about during the pregame before drBeljan logged in. I'm just gonna call him Dragon before Dragon logged in. So. Appreciate the understanding on that one, and I think we're ready to move on to the next challenge here. Everybody want to give Dragon a GG in the chat. 3167 is in the chat, old friend of the show. What's up, 3167? I hope you guys are enjoying this. Let's take a look at some more information about our competitors here. So like we mentioned before, drBeljan started in 2007. He's also a proud father, a gamer, and an ordinary guy. I like that. And over here going against him, we've got Kong. Kong likes to collect playing cards. That's kind of interesting. There's only 52 playing cards that I know about. But maybe he means he collects different sets. Or maybe he's talking about something else. Maybe some Magic the Gathering. Some Wizards of the Coast. Some Pokemon, maybe. Who knows? He likes to go rock climbing to procrastinate against doing homework. Well, I think it's a wonderful way to procrastinate. It's much better than what a lot of youngsters do. They just stare at the screen. Getting out there in the atmosphere and using your muscles, I think that's awesome. And can't watch the prequels without quoting every other line. So while I'm setting up this next competition, I want you guys to answer in the chat, which prequels do you think he's talking about? Do you think he's talking about like Fast and the Furious prequels? Do you think he's talking about Lord of the Rings prequels? Do you think he's talking about Star Trek Next Generation prequels? Which prequels do you think he is referring to when he says that? So I'll let you guys think about that and try to answer that. And I'm going to get the next competition up and running here. And let me take a look at this one. Oops. Nope, that's not the right one. Okay. And you guys, like I said, let me know which prequels you think he is referring to there in the chat. Let's see what we got here as our answers. So we got, let's see here. I hate sand. It's so dry. Yep, good, good. I just made a comment on that in a very inappropriate way in a LinkedIn post. They were trying to be motivational, and I just threw in that meme. I hate sand. It's so dry. Let's see here. Based on the Avatar Star Wars. Okay, Star Wars. Yep, Minions prequel. Good. Goonies prequel. Table 36 says the amazing Star Wars prequels. So good. A lot of good guesses here as to what prequels. I guess we'll find out at some point. I used to play a lot of that Lego Star Wars game with one of my roommates. So I think it's awesome that you got that as your profile. All right, cool. Well, congratulations to drBeljan, and let's take a look at our next round here. Our next challenge is going to go live here in, hold on one second, let me just make sure I have this set up right. Okay, I do. So our next challenge is going to go live here in 3, 2, 1, go. So this one is live now. You guys can grab the screen capture and come up with a plan to create your model. And this one is called Vice Base. It's in plain carbon steel, and it is utilizing a density of 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter. Looks like both of our competitors are going. Let me flip over to their screens. Here we go. So we got our starting geometry. How do we build something like this, right? This is always the question when you're trying to create something, when you're trying to create something quickly. How do you actually build something like this? You know, this is in this case it's a base for a vise. You know, let me bring up the image of this thing as well, just because I think it'll be cool if we can kind of see the image in the overlay as well. Give me a second here in my setup. Okay, and what is this thing even called? I think it's called this. Wow. Okay, let's see which one it is. Well, that's sort of it. At least it's the, I got an image at least. Let's get the correct image here. Here we go. So when you're trying to do something like this, you know, how do you do it? How do you start? Do you start with the, you know, kind of like the underlying footprint? Do you start with the round part? Do you start with the slot? You know, what do you do when you're trying to make a part like this? That is the real question, and that's what all of our competitors have to figure out. They grab a screen capture of this thing, and then they have to go through and try to figure out how they're going to actually build this thing. Ah, okay, thank you. Wow. Oh, geez, we lost the feed. Thank you, Cam. Looks like we lost the feed for drBeljan. So, Cam, if you want to just leave your screen up there and Kong, keep going. Don't stop. This is once we go live, if there's technical difficulties or whatever, that's going to be on the competitor. Cam, I appreciate you leaving your screen up. I'm just going to leave it up there as well. And he's just making circles. Okay, here we go. It looks like drBeljan is coming back, so we're going to get him back in and then have him share his screen. And we're just going to wait for drBeljan to share his screen again, and then we'll get him back up on here. Oh, and we got some extra audio here. Get off the computer audio for the call. No problem there. And let's see here. So again, we're just waiting for drBeljan just in Zoom to share his screen again. Keep going, Kong. You got this. And I'm sure that drBeljan is going to keep going too, but here we go. We got his screen back up here. Let's get that shown again. Okay. And we're able to see drBeljan's screen again. Looks like maybe he experienced some kind of a major technical issue. So you do you. Don't worry about resizing it. It's fine. I'd say just keep getting your model together. I think you're going to be coming at this from a disadvantage here, drBeljan, but go for it. Keep modeling. If you It's possible you lost the print, so I'm going to just flip back to the full screen just in case he lost the print. If it was a computer crash, you know, considering the way that he just kind of went offline and then when he came back he didn't have any work, it might have been a computer crash. So I'm going to show the full screen here. And hopefully that'll let him grab the screen capture. Okay, it looks like he's back to working here, so let's see. This is going to be some true speed modeling now. drBeljan come from behind. Let's see if he can do it. It's exciting. It's always, you know, Too Tall Toby's 3D CAD speed modeling tournaments are always exciting. Always, always exciting. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but I'm willing to bet that it was a crash. Let's see here. Cam, I went into my Zoom settings and turned off the audio, but yeah, drBeljan, if you could mute Zoom. Sorry, I know you already have a lot going on, but if you could mute Zoom, the other participants are getting like a double audio through yours. So if you could just go in there and mute Zoom, that would be helpful. And Cam, if you go into Zoom and you say like don't use the audio channel, that's what I did. I just said don't use any audio channel, and that turned off his audio that was coming through me. Okay, cool. Thanks for that feedback. Like I said, it's always exciting in the Too Tall Toby Speed Modeling Championship. Can I see the 2D draw? Yep. Okay, I got you there. Thanks, drBeljan. Okay, just catching up on the chat here. Oh, Striker says maybe he didn't know there were multiple rounds. I think it was actually a crash. I'm gonna say it was probably a crash. Oh, how many matches? I exit Zoom. You're right. I'm just seeing the chat now. Okay. And Louise saying this is better than an Excel tournament. Well, thanks, Louise. I appreciate that. That's good to hear. I can't imagine what types of tools will be used in an Excel tournament. Probably like concatenation and fill down, you know, and things like that. VLOOKUP. I bet people are pulling out some pretty serious moves in the world of Excel tournament, competitive Excel tournaments. So we see Riley on the right here. Kong on the right here, going through and, you know, really just kind of closing this thing off. This is really a solid modeling technique. I'm enjoying watching this. But now we have to create those rounds that are at the end of this vice space. And so I'm curious what technique Kong is going to do to accomplish that. And I like what I'm seeing so far, that's for sure. I also noticed that Kong is using not only the red background, but also using the red for the sketch colors. I think that's really interesting, and it's a good reminder that you can get in there and you can make SolidWorks look however you want, whatever's going to work for you. And if we look at the left screen, if you look at drBeljan, we can see that he's going through here now and creating this model using, looks like starting out with multi-body, which is a very interesting approach, but I can get on board with this. You know, I can definitely get on board with this. It starts out with that slot kind of going down the middle. You know, what are you going to do to end up creating that geometry? So he's going to bridge those two together with that little small section. I like it. I like it. And in the chat, it looks like some of the people in the chat are kind of following along with. And let's see here. Victor says, those round faces tripped me up. That little flat section was tough. Yep, it was a little bit tough there. I like the way Kong is handling it. Just blasting right through there with a nice smooth radius there on the right. It's again something I can definitely get on board with. I gotta say, I'm really liking the highlight color and the sketch color that Kong has chosen. I might consider modifying my setup to do something like that. And we'll see here on the left what drBeljan is coming up with for that section. Oh, nice. Very nice Kong on the right, using that mirror to get that arc nice and smooth up and over the top. I love it. Oh, yeah. I'm really liking that. I'm thinking, again, solid techniques here. Look at this come from behind on the left, though, also. We got drBeljan feeling a little rattled from that the confusion at the start, but trying to bring it back here. And I'm liking this technique, but I know that a lot of you out there are probably thinking, oh, no, he's going to get a 0 thickness. We've all run into that 0 thickness before. That's for sure. And we've got an answer coming in here from Kong. The answer is 3003 grams. And Kong, that is not correct. That is not correct. So you've got some time here. You know, you've got you're still out in front of drBeljan. So I would say just kind of take your time, go through feature by feature, look at the 2D print again, and try to see if you can't figure out if there is a dimension that's maybe a little bit off from the print. But that is not correct. The answer that you put in there, 3003 grams, is incorrect. Victor saying in the chat, realize with this model that open contour cut extrudes only allow you to go blind or through all, but not up to surface. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. The main spot that I use those in is... I use them for like when I have an open contour sketch, I use it like a surface cut, like it's basically just like you're extruding a surface and then doing cut with surface. But I did not know that it doesn't let you go up to surface. I guess just instinctively I kind of knew it because the that's kind of how surface is too. Like it figures out how far it needs to go. Although I guess I'd have to try that. If you made a blind surface and then you did a cut, would it auto extend that surface? Now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm thinking maybe it doesn't. This is the kind of nerd talk that you get into when you have Toby doing commentary alone on a CAD versus CAD speed modeling tournament. Subtractive and additive technique, says Ed. Yes. We should have a 3D CAD 3D printing speed modeling tournament. It'll be a 32-hour live stream. And we'll say whoever's able to 3D print this out first. And tell me how much smaller the spool got. Something like that. Need some co-commentary. Yeah, I definitely need co-commentary. Great question here from Stryker. There's a form that I can send you. I'll send it over to you, Stryker, and then we'll get you to do some co-commentary here. I'm not set up for it today, unfortunately, but I'll get the form over to you. This technique that Kong is using is one that I have definitely used in my actual career, where it's just like, look, what do I need to do? I just need to blast through this thing so I can get it over to the machinist so I can start 3D printing it. You know, like that's the whole goal. The whole goal. Okay, and I see drBeljan came in with an answer of 3470. That is incorrect. And Kong coming in with an answer of 3102. That is the correct answer. Kong with the win. I'm going to give you the victory cat on that one, Kong. Nicely done. Wow. Great job. Great job. Great job. Kong comes in with the win on that one. Good game. Good game. And please, everyone stay logged into Zoom. This is a best of 3. So that's one win for each of those people. drBeljan got a win on that first round. Kong got a win on that second round. So congratulations to Kong. Everybody give Kong a GG in the chat. Very nicely done. got, the one wrong answer, was able to come back in and get the correct answer. And the correct answer on that one was 3102 grams. So nicely done. And I see drBeljan in the chat being a good sport about it, saying good game to Kong as well. And so this thing is going to the wire now. So, wow. Congratulations. Great job to the winner on that one. Very nicely done. This is awesome. You guys, let me know what you thought about that one in the chat. I think that, the first couple of rounds where everybody was still kind of figuring out what they're thinking about, figuring out what the best way is to handle these tournaments. I think this final round here is going to be the smoothest of the three. I think we're going to see that people are going to really be on their game for this final one. So we're going to see what happens on this final round in just a moment here. I'm just getting the information together on my screen, so you guys talk amongst yourselves for a moment while I'm doing this. But I think I'm pretty good now. Let me get this turned off. Okay, get that going there. And EDM, Wire EDM tournament. Yeah, I like the sound of that too. All right. Let's see here. What do we got going on? Whoops, we got one more round here. So GG to the winner, and I think we're ready to move into our final match. This is going to be it. Dragon says, how many matches will there be? It's a best of 3. It's a best of 3. So this is going to be it here. We're going to go to our, this is going to be our final matchup here in our best of 3. You guys each have won 1, so whoever wins this one is going to move on to the next round, to the round of 16. So this is final death, if you will. Sudden death. Final death. Sudden death. Thanks for all the GGs in the chat. Very much appreciate it. And let's move on and take a look at our final matchup here. This is going to go live. I hope both of our competitors are ready. We're going to go live here in 3, 2, 1, go. So it is now live. Grab a screen capture and begin modeling. This final matchup between drBeljan and Kong is live. What is the mass of this part in pounds? This is one that we're doing in inches. So what is the mass of this part in pounds? So I see both of our competitors are going, and I'm going to switch over to the CAD vs. CAD tournament here. What is the mass of this part in pounds? So just like last time, you have your 2D print here. How do you actually get started with this thing? Where do we actually begin on this thing? We've got we could start with the footprint. We could start with the top view. We could start with one of the side views. So many options here. How do we actually start with this thing, and how do we end up ultimately turning it into a 3D model and getting the correct mass? We're looking for this thing in ABS, which has a mass of a density of 1020 kilograms per cubic meter, and we're looking for the answer this time in pounds. So we mix it up a little bit here at the Too Tall Toby live streams. Sometimes we do things in millimeters. Sometimes we do things in inches. Most of the chat loves inches. Let me know in the chat. What do you like more, inches or millimeters? I think it's probably a foregone conclusion that everyone is going to say inches. Inches, inches, inches. That's what I think most people enjoy. They like having those weird little numbers. And we see the chat is already coming in overwhelmingly. Louise says inches. Ed says inches. Everybody says inches. Alrighty. Mohammed says inches. Oh, look at this. Everybody's just saying inches. This is awesome. I think the rendered model is showing an extra feature. Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. That's weird. It's got a like a weird shadow going through there. I don't know. That's a reflection. It's not an actual like lip or anything. I see what you're talking about. There's like a little lip on that thing, but it's not actually there. You can see on the 2D print, it's just a straight wall right down the side there. So I probably showed it in real view and then kicked off the rendering. So it looks like both of our competitors started out with an L shape, kind of coming in from the side or making a rectangle and then cutting down from the top. And we see here that it looks like on the left, drBeljan is getting those fillets in place, while on the right, Kong is going through and making sure that those wall thicknesses are all at the desired wall thickness there of 2. And I love this offset from surface technique from Kong. That is clutch. Well done, well done, well done. And it looks like Kong is going to go through and get some of those internal fillets in place. Always good, always good. And Victor making a comment about the selection helper. Yep, I was thinking that same thing. Completely agree with that. Cool Man is confirming that it's probably just a reflection thing. Engineering Mechanics saying inches. Striker saying inches. Okay. Let's see here. Basically everyone has said inches. Let's see. We got Axel saying inches. Raju saying inches. Looks like just about everybody is just saying inches. So yeah. Engineering Mechanics here saying inches. Let's see here. Table 3.6, have no choice, inches. Yeah, obviously there is no choice really. I mean, it's obviously the superior measurement system. Let's see here. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, Engineering Mechanics says no. I say inches. Yep, got it. Yeah, inches. Got it. Okay, let's see here. Frank Laurent saying, what about multi-body and shell? Yeah, that's the kind of the cool thing is having, a lot of different options for creating these models. That's what I think is so interesting about this competition is that people are able to come up with, come up with their answers using a variety of techniques, even though they're creating the same models. Kong, you're going to want to go into options up there at the top of that mass properties box. If you click the options button in the mass properties box, that'll let you go out to 3 places. So it's there was a button there when you were in mass properties for, yeah, go back into mass properties and look, there's a button in there it's in the actual, when you're looking at the mass properties, there's a button for options. Yeah, and then you can change that to 3 places. Use custom setting, 3 places, yep. Okay, and then he's dropping in 0.531. That is incorrect. That is incorrect. Okay, so you have one more chance. There's something off about your model. I can actually see what's off about your model this time. So there's something off about your model, and you got to figure out what that something is, and then you'll be able to take a look at the drawing, the 2D print. Take a look at your model, see if anything looks a little different. There's something about your model that's off. And drBeljan, same thing to you. Make sure that you're submitting the answer in 3 places. You can click the options button at the top of that mass properties box, and then so there's like a little button there that says options. It's next to the blue box. Yep, right there. And then say custom, and then you can say you want it to be in 3 places. There you go. And it looks like drBeljan coming in with 0.509. And that is correct. That is the correct answer. That is what I came up with as well. So very nicely done to drBeljan. Congratulations, getting the correct answer. Very, very nicely done. And Kong, you were very close there. It was just the that little step. That's supposed to be a flat face all the way up there. So it's a flat face with just a 2mm wall thickness in the middle, not a 4mm. But GG to drBeljan coming in with the correct answer there. Very nicely done. And we're going to give him the victory cat as well. And it looks like that means that drBeljan is going to move on. If you guys could all give him a GG in the chat. Very, very nicely done. And wow, that was awesome. Forgot to define the material. Current peak says I was done like 3 minutes ago, but forgot to define the material. So GG to the winner there. Congratulations on that matchup. And I'm going to put drBeljan here. He moves on in the tournament bracket, and his next matchup is going to be on... whoops, hold on 1 second, guys. I messed up something there. Let's go back to our CAD versus CAD here for a second. Sorry about that. Let me just fix up something here. I did some shuffling here in the beginning and kind of messed up some stuff, so I apologize. I want to be... Where do I want to be on this thing? I think I want to be here. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, guys. We're gonna figure this out. What the heck happened to my PowerPoint here? Oh, okay, there we go. I had a bunch of stuff that I clipped. That's what happened. Okay, there we go. We got it. Yikes. I'm glad you guys weren't able to see my face during that. GG to both of our runners. Congratulations to drBeljan for securing that win. Looks like that's going to put him here in this bracket, in the black bracket. And very, very nicely done. Very, very nicely done to both of our competitors. I want to thank both Kong and drBeljan. GG to both the runners. Kong, great job today. Thank you so much for participating. And very nicely done. And, of course, Dragon, thank you very much as well. And I'm going to get our next competitors ready here. But again, I just want to say thank you so much. And let's see here. I think we are pretty much good for our next competitors. Guys, if you have any questions in the chat, please let me know. If you guys are enjoying this, of course, feel free to help the channel. You can help the channel by liking and subscribing. You can help the channel by sharing and resharing this tournament. You start emailing people right now. Say, hey, we're watching this CAD versus CAD tournament. It's pretty epic. And, of course, you can join the mailing list by going to tootalltoby.com and signing up right on the main page there. And let's see here. And our super thanks. Of course, you can always support the channel with super thanks as well. And you can support the channel with super chat. So great job to everyone. And thank you very much. And Victor, yep, that's a good point. There is a little bit of tolerance that so Victor made a comment here in the chat, came up with 506. There is a little bit of tolerance that I put in the tournament for certain models, because some of these models, there's different ways that you can get to the answer, and depending which feature you use, it can actually be slightly different. So it's a good point, and that's actually more in line with what I was getting, 0.506. It depends on the model, how I come up with that tolerance, and it's just kind of to allow for some of those a little bit more like fringe cases. So yes, you are on point there for sure with that 0.506. Thank you for pointing that out, and you're sharp, man. I'm getting nervous about when your match comes up. It's going to be interesting. So again, thank you guys so much for all the support of the channel. Let's go on here and talk about the next matchup. We got drBeljan coming in here on the black bracket, going to be competing on October 22nd. Let's move over here now to the blue bracket, and when we move over to the blue bracket, we can see that our first matchup here is between KamSmiff and 5 lakhs. So let's learn a little bit about our competitors today. First of all, we've got KamSmiff. He only uses SolidWorks 1 hour per week during Model Monday Live on Monday night, and he served 11 years in the Navy, but now works for the Army. Okay, cool, awesome. And going up against him, we've got 5 lakhs, and 5 lakhs has bought 18 3D printers. 18, wow. And 5 lakhs, his breakdancing power move in high school was head spins. So we'll see how those different skill sets stack up against each other. If you guys want to let me know in the chat who you're rooting for or who you think is going to win, feel free to put that in the chat. See a couple of people in the chat saying they also got 0.506. Yep, 506, 505. You can see here there's a little bit of tolerance depending on the model. Yep, 506 is I would consider that like the pure number. But again, depending on the model, I'm throwing a little bit of tolerance in there. Alrighty, so let me get this next competition ready to go here. You guys want to let me know in the chat who you think is going to win or who you're rooting for, or just randomly type in someone's name. I think that would be awesome. And both of our competitors, I can see they've got their screens set to not having any models open, because we're going to agree to start a new model once I show the 2D print, which will just be in a moment here. We're going to get the victory cat off of the screen. He's still hanging out up there on the screen. We're going to make sure that we have the correct competitors here, and we're going to make sure that we have the correct part. Look, we were able to do all those things just while we're hanging out here with the most amazing chat ever. What a lucky guy I am. Okay, and I think we're good here, guys. And Frank Lorette just typing in random numbers, 18. I love it. Madi, what's up? Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Where are you from? Let us know where you're from. We're going to get to our next challenge here. Looks like Cam is rooting for 5 lakhs. I think that's pretty cool. And Anti-Venom is rooting for Cam. Nice. All right, let's get our competitors ready. We're going to flip over to full screen here, and we're going to show the print. And as soon as I show the print, you guys are going to do the screen capture, and you're going to begin modeling. So here we go in 3, 2, 1, go. So here's your print. Grab the screen capture, begin modeling. What is the mass of this part in x.xx pounds? Dovetail stop. This is an IPS, plain carbon steel, and 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter. And boom, these guys are already going for it here. I love it. We can see here while they're getting their models ready, we can see what this thing will look like. Where do we start with something like this? Do we start on the top? Do we start on the front? Do we start on one of the sides? You know, what types of things are we going to be considering as we're going through and creating this model? What's our plan, right? I know that I've seen people do this competition, and they spend just a few extra couple of moments coming up with a plan, and it makes such a difference in their overall time. They're able just to blast through this thing. Look at 5 lakhs on the right, going with the symmetric technique coming in from one end. Look at KamSmiff on the left, coming in with the technique coming in from the front view, and 2 different CAD experts, right, creating the same model and coming at it from a very, very different approach. How cool is that? We see Cam is using a little bit more of a dark mode theme. We see 5 lakhs is using more of the traditional theme. Madi visiting us from France. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And we can see here that our competitors are just blasting through this model, you know, just shredding it. I mean, look at the use of dimensions from Cam here. Again, taking advantage of symmetry, making sure that his sketches are fully defined every time. Always important. We always want those sketches to be black. We can see here that our competitor on the right, 5 lakhs, going through, doing the symmetry option, making sure, again, all of our sketches are black. Let's make sure we fully define every time. Very important. Kind of going with the layout approach. I like that. Using the layout approach, kind of get like multiple features together in one sketch. Let's see how he's able to reuse that sketch now. So he just clicked on that same sketch again and then clicked in the extrude command, and he's able to take the 2 different sections of the same sketch and utilize those 2 different sections in, in the same model downstream. So I think it's such a cool way to utilize the layout functionality from sketch mode. And we can see here that 5 lakhs is already, at the point of that rib, and looks like Cam is at that same point doing that angled rib on the left. Ooh, I like that. Using the magical dimension arrow there when you're creating that angled line. Very nice, Cam. Probably not necessary, but I still like it, I'm sure you probably just did that to make me smile, and it worked. I definitely did smile. And we can see 5 lakhs here coming in with the what ultimately is pretty close to the final feature. I mean, these guys are neck and neck on this thing. Question came in from the chat. Is the Ivan exploit permitted? Absolutely. Anti-Venom. The Ivan exploit is always permitted and sometimes even encouraged. Yeah, absolutely, it's permitted. The thing is, you have to pay attention to what's going on downstream from those cut extrudes if you're going to use the Ivan exploit, because if that geometry, on the top surface and the bottom surface is non-uniform, the Ivan exploit isn't really going to work. You're going to end up, getting the massing correct. And I think what you'll probably notice from a lot of my designs is that I try to incorporate something to thwart the Ivan exploit. So we're looking for the mass of this part in x.xx pounds. 5 lakhs comes in with a mass of 2.44 pounds. That is correct. Wow, that was fast. My goodness. These guys are screaming through this thing. Very nicely done. KamSmiff coming in right behind him, 2.467. The correct answer is 2.44. Wow, GG. Everybody, please, please, please give 5 lakhs a GG in the chat. That was some serious speed modeling. My goodness. And wow, very nicely done. Holy smokes. Woo! Now you guys can see my face. This is what my face is doing. Woo! That was some speed modeling right there, I gotta say. Amazing speed, yes. Yes, Dragon, you said it perfect. GG. Wow, very nicely done to both of you gentlemen. Everybody please give them a GG in the chat. Cam, yes, I would say that was probably that's how I would be feeling too, because you were flying as well. They were both absolutely screaming through that one. What did you guys think about that one? That was pretty intense. All right, let's keep going here. Let's keep talking about our tournament. We got KamSmiff, only uses SolidWorks 1 hour per week, and 5 lakhs, who was kicking in his special move of breakdancing power. He watched Toby's tips and tricks for the first time while on vacation in Italy, and his dog only eats $5 rotisserie chickens from Costco. That's pretty interesting. And then to combat that on Cam's side, he owns more SolidWorks t-shirts than socks, and he doesn't own any SolidWorks socks. So that's gonna, we'll see how those different skill sets stack up. I'm gonna let you guys talk amongst yourselves for a moment while I get things ready for the next matchup. But 5 lakhs, super impressive, and Cam, super impressive as well. Both you guys were just flying on that one, and so I'm gonna give you guys another one here in a moment that I think will also be interesting. All right, let's get this guy up here, and let's get this guy up here. Here we go. I think we're good with that. Oops, that's not in the right spot. Okay, now we're in the right spot. And let's go to here, and let's go to here. Okay. Everybody ready for more? My screen is on fire, says Cool Man. Yeah, mine as well. Wow. Axel says, use more shortcuts. There you go. All right, and Cam, being a good sport as always, saying GG to 5 lakhs. Here we go. Next matchup is coming at you here. As soon as I show the 2D print, this is going to go live. This is sudden death for Cam, and this is 5 lakhs' opportunity to cinch the win and move on in the tournament. In 3, 2, 1, go. And there is the print. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? We're looking for this thing as a material of 1060 alloy, 2,700 kilograms per cubic meter. Both of our competitors are already flying. Let's flip over and check in on them, see how they're doing. And we see, as always, the question is where to begin? Where to begin with a model like this? Where do we put the origin? Where do we put the initial sketches? Right? How do we get this thing laid out? Ed says, I still don't have a 3D printer. All right, fair enough. Maybe at some point when you're ready to get one, you know who to talk to. Just taking a sip of my drink. Get us going here on this beautiful Saturday. Where do we start on a part like this, right? Where do we begin? So many options. And we can see our competitors are both more or less starting the same way, right? Looking at this thing from the same angle, kind of using that as a foundation for their sketch, going through, making sure their sketches are fully defined, always important. We always want to make sure we fully define our sketches. Ed says, go, Cam, go. You got a fan out there, Cam. Don't let him down. No pressure, though. And we got 5 lakhs. Once again, taking advantage of the symmetry of the model and trying to figure out the best way to, come up with that geometry. Ooh, the automatic tangent to arc. I hate when that happens in my lines. It's so annoying when that happens. There's got to be a shortcut for that. Maybe I'll make it a mission to get out there and try and find what that shortcut is. And I got to say, I love the techniques that 5 lakhs is using as far as trying to, incorporate as much as you can into the one sketch and then just using and reusing that sketch. That's a technique that I typically don't use. But, maybe I'll start using it more now that I see how effective it can be. And you see, you look at that first feature and you think like, wow, that's a really strange way to start this model. But again, you can see here that 5 lakhs is able to incorporate multiple features into that first sketch. And it's really the true magic of that first sketch that works. Victor says, I love that technique in normal modeling, but speed modeling, it slows me down a fair bit. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that 5 lakhs has really mastered that technique. And I kind of feel the same way as you, Victor. I could second that statement. But Frank says contour selection is my favorite. Yeah, he's able to rock it for sure. I would definitely, like I said, I would kind of tend to think the way Victor thinks, that contour selection just kind of slows me down. It feels like it's clumsy. It feels like it's too cluttered. But I got to tell you, 5 lakhs is making me a believer. And I may have to go back and second guess this a little bit. Steve from CTSUG user group says using the control key while placing the line will forego the auto constraints. That's something I definitely would be interested in learning how to master a little bit more. Specifically, the constraint that occurs when you just drag a line from a circle and it always wants to make that line tangent. There's certainly times when that's what I want, but like in this case, when I'm trying to create a rib coming straight down from a circle, it's really not what I want. And so I would definitely be interested in looking into that more. And Steve says, I'm the one who taught him that. So there you go. I have forgotten so many tips and tricks. I could start going through and giving them out again. Maybe other people will forget them too, and they'll be like, oh, that's great. That's a new tip for me, even though it's something they already knew. So we can see here that if we look at Cam's screen, Cam's now going through, getting ready to create that rib type shape. I'm going to call it a rib. I know it's not actually a rib, but certainly it could be, right? It could be created with any feature that you are comfortable with. You can create it with, as long as we get to the same final mass. Then I think that we consider it valid, right? As long as we just get to that same mass. And there he goes. He's using the rib feature. Love it. Oh, and 5 lakhs. Wow, I was worried he was going to miss that fillet. But he did not miss that fillet. And 5 lakhs comes in with a mass of what I'm going to consider 519 grams, and that is incorrect. So, incorrect. You want to just go through and double check your dimensions. And just see if there's maybe anything. As you were doing it, there was nothing that really jumped out at me, but maybe just double check your dimensions. And we're looking for this thing in grams, Cam. And Cam comes in with 483.29, or I'll call that 483. We're just looking for an X66 grams. That is also incorrect. So you both have burned off one of your potential, strikes. And so both of our competitors are going through and taking a look at their models. And we've all been here in this spot where we're kind of looking at the 2D print and looking at the 2D print, trying to figure out with what is it. There must be something in there that I just got a little bit wrong. What is it? What is it? And now we both know, you know, both the competitors have fired in one incorrect answer. So now it's like we really got to make sure that we check and double check all of our dimensions before we submit something. Let's see who's gonna commit first. That's the question. KamSmiff coming in with a mass of 520.167, and the correct answer is 520 grams. 520 is correct. That win is gonna go to Cam. Wow. Man, 5 lakhs, you were so close with that 519. There must have been something that was just slightly off. So great job to KamSmiff. Well done, well done. We're gonna give him the victory. We're gonna give him a victory cat as well. There you go. KamSmiff gets the victory cat. We gotta get that victory cat up in the foreground here of this thing. Can't be behind the part. There we go. Okay, so that puts both of our competitors at 1v1, and that means we're gonna take this thing down to the final matchup. Wow, very nicely done, guys. Again, super, super fast. 5 lakhs, hats off to you as well. You really came through there with that super fast answer, and just a little bit of something that was just slightly off, man, and you guys are both so close. So GG to the winner. Let's make sure that we give 5 lakhs a GG. And we're going to take a look here at one final matchup between these guys. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them into the chat while I am going through and getting this final matchup ready to go. But wow, this is easily as exciting as a final matchup of one of these tournaments. So this is really super impressive. And we got a good final part here for you guys too. Sure we get this thing ready. Okay, that looks good there. And let's go down here to our screen. And there we go. Make sure that's in place where we want it. Yep, that looks pretty good there. And then let me just get that 2D print ready in case we want to show that, because these guys get off the jump so fast. Okay. Think that's good. Think that's good. Think that's good. Let's see if any questions came in. I'm getting motion sickness with how fast they are modeling. Table 3-6, I completely agree. Completely agree. All right, guys, this is it. The final matchup. Sudden death, if you will. Hope everybody's ready. My hands are sweaty. Let's see how fast these guys can finish this one. Take a look at this. In 3, 2, 1, go! Here we go. Grab a 2D print. Grab the screen capture of this thing. What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? Plain carbon steel, 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter. Our competitors are both already flying through this thing. That's all the more time it took them to grab the screen capture, to come up with a plan, and to begin their modeling. This part is called Link. Mahmoud from Nigeria, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. KCB says, do you have any competitions with other CAD software competitors? They're coming up. They're coming up. I can't remember what's happening next week, if any of the users next week are non-SolidWorks, but there are a few non-SolidWorks competitors in the tournament coming up. So just make sure you follow me on social, and I will, KCB, this is the KCB, follow me on social, and I'll advertise when the different CAD packages are going to be represented in the tournament. All right, so look at this. Both competitors starting with almost an identical sketch. Now both going through and trying to make sure that they've got fully defined geometry all throughout their print here, their sketch. But very impressive that they both are basically starting out with the same layout. This part, you know, it's like a lot of the prints that we work on here in speed modeling. It's got a couple of little funky dimensions that you got to be aware of. But looks like both of our competitors are starting out pretty strong here. And both starting out with the same approach. I mean, I think in a model like this, yeah, I mean, you start out with the basic footprint of the model. That's a great way to get things started. We can see on the left, Cam utilizing some slotted hole techniques, using trim, but keeping the extra geometry as construction geometry. That's one we haven't seen in the tournament so far. I like that. Very, very clever way of using that for construction geometry. I like that. Trim and turn into for construction. Very, very nice. And we see on the right, 5lax is going through and finishing up that layout. I love that line arc transition. Always a great way to save some time if you can learn how to master that technique. It's something that comes up all the time in mechanical engineering. And 5lax just going in and getting everything kind of locked down in that first sketch. Yeah, we've seen him use this technique on both of the previous matches and using it here as well, kind of sticking to what he knows. And I gotta say, I like it. Like I said before, he's kind of making me a believer. It was something that I haven't experimented with enough, apparently. Ooh, but running into both our competitors running into a little bit of a hiccup with that lower section of this link. Trying to maybe take a look at the print, taking a deep breath, trying to figure out, like, wait a second, what's off? Something's off here. What's off here? And 5lax using the shift technique there with the dimension. Always love seeing that. I think that's always valuable. And this is one of these spots I know we've all been in where we're like, what is blocking me here? Why can't I just get this to do what I want it to do? Something's blocking me. I don't know what. This is something that definitely affects you more when you're in one of these under the gun situations. And, you know, in this case, it's a competition, but it could also be that you just need to, you know, get this thing done so that your teammates can get it onto the 3D printer, get it to the machinist, or, you know, whatever it is. Sometimes it's just one of these little features where you're like, man. I like that. It just says, I'm just going to get rid of it all, and I'm just going to just do it again. I'm gonna delete that comment, Victor. I agree that you are correct, but we're going to let them figure it out themselves. Victor says, should make it a rule that everything is fully defined, at least in the semi and final rounds. I think that, you know, I think that they kind of, you know, it either is going to be the correct mass or it is not, right? That's pretty much all that it really comes down to. I like how 5lax was like, I'm just going to go and work on a different section for now, and I'll come back to that other section. And I like how I like what Cam is doing here. A little bit of a clever approach to getting that taper on there. I like this. This is very interesting. Dragon says, model seems simple. Yes, but as you know from earlier today, when you're the one who's actually sharing your screen and you know you're going against somebody else, sometimes it's not so simple. Sometimes it's it can make you a little bit crazy, you know, and you get these like little sections that just don't seem to work. Nico Concarne says, no, SolidWorks crash. I just had one more feature. Yeah, how many times has that happened in the real world too, where that's all you really need is just that one more feature, and then you're done, right? And then you're like, oh, I forgot to save, blah blah. I've definitely been there. Bob Yang says, simple bonus round where you have to model the geometry a bit without breaking anything. Yes, I like that. Okay, good to see the 5 lakhs is getting that slot area back in place here. These guys are going to be pretty darn close with this final geometry. Cam's doing the final spin. Let's see what he comes up with. And it looks like 5 lakhs is coming in with that trying to create that taper geometry. How's he going to do it? And KamSmiff comes in with an answer, 7558 grams. That is the correct answer. And in an incredibly hard-fought battle, KamSmiff, come from behind, was down 1-0, and managed to come out with the win. Man, GG to everyone who played today. That was intense. That was amazing. We're going to give you the victory cat. We're going to give you the applause. Very, very nicely done. That was awesome, man. That was so awesome. Great job, and great job to 5 lakhs as well. Thank you so much for competing in this thing. It was intense. You definitely could have gone all the way. Just that slot dimension. It looked like you had that dimension on the outside radius. You had the dimension for the outside radius on the slot, and that was hanging you up. And something I wanted to mention to Cam, I forgot to mention this a few minutes ago, Cam, but in the first model, in the first round, you remember he came up with the wrong mask? I remember when you were doing the angled slot in the dovetail, I said something like, got to fully define every time, and you didn't fully define that sketch. And I think that's why that dovetail part came out with the wrong geometry. So just something that I just wanted to give you a little shout out if you go back and watch the recording. But GG to everybody. If you guys want to make sure that you give these guys a good game here in the chat. Good game to all the runners today. That was awesome. I want to say thank you so much to drBeljan. Thank you so much to Kong. Thank you so much to Cam. And thank you so much to 5 lakhs. You guys were a lot of fun. Thank you so much for doing this tournament today. I had a lot of fun. I think the chat had a great time. I want to say you guys were, it was a great way to get things started. Super clench finisher. Yeah, I love that that ending. Cool, man. I think that's a great comment too. I know you said factor, but yeah. And that's going to move Cam into our next bracket for October 22nd. So we have drBeljan in here for October 22nd. We have Cam in here for October 22nd. Now, who are they going to go against? Victor's been pretty active in the chat today, and we can see here. Actually, let me change this to full screen so you guys can see it. You can see here that Victor is actually going to be competing on August 27th. So it might be Victor against drBeljan, but he's going to have to take out Tank in order to do that. And we can see here over on the other bracket, we've got MAAZ going against Alnus. He's an on-shape user, so if you want to see some on-shape, you can come on back on August 27th. But next week, we got Neil in the red bracket going against Rafi, and we've got KamSmiff in the mustard bracket going against Rajiv. So that's going to be Saturday, August 20th next week, and we'll see who from there moves into the next tournament. Let's see here. Anti-Venom says, forgot to update the brackets. I think they're updated, right? We got... Oh, with the final... What are you saying? With the final people here at the end? Yeah, we got to maybe get some of the final people at the end here. Guys, this is going to be awesome. I'm so excited. I want to say, again, thank you all so much for hanging with me today. I know we went a little bit longer than I thought, but you guys are, in fact, the most amazing chat ever. Remember, you can check out Model Monday Live for CAD speed modeling challenges. Remember, if you want to help the channel, you can like and subscribe. You can share and reshare. You can join the mailing list over at tootalltoby.com. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, you can always give me super thanks or super chat down in the YouTube functionality. And that's always a great way to continue to support the channel. Debris Field, I know that you're in the tournament. I'm looking forward to seeing you. And if you guys want to join us on Monday, August 15th, so in a couple of days, I'll be doing the solves from this tournament bracket that we just did today. So I'll go through each of the models and show you how I would solve them. And that way, if you have any other questions, you can let us know. That's it for my PowerPoint. That's it for my live stream today. Thank you guys so much. And I look forward to seeing everybody on Monday and also next week. Have a good rest of your weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.